So I think it's time that I finally put the final spin on my time at Disney. Let's have a chat. So I wanted to start this video by saying I've actually already recorded a version of this video and didn't release it. And the reason why is because that version was mostly negative. And even though I did not say anybody's name, it's, if you know me or you're one of the people who I work with, you know the people who I'm speaking about in that version of the video. And to be honest, regardless of how my time at Disney ended, I don't want to end on a bad note. So instead I want to talk about, instead of the reasons that got me to leave, why it was ultimately the right thing to do for me. And first of all, I wanted to share something about me that a lot of people might know, but some might not. And that is, I am a very stubborn person. If I am on my, if I'm in a rhythm on something, I will stick with it as long as I possibly can. Case in point, I don't buy shoes unless like they have giant gaping holes in the bottom and duct tape can't fix them. Then I'll buy new ones. Same goes for a lot of other things, but I try to stick with what I got and get the most use out of things until I can use them no more, and then I'll eventually get something new. And that mentality can easily be seen with my work. Because, I was with Disney for 12 years, and my goal from the very beginning was I wanted to move up into management. And I was doing pretty well for the first few years. I got coordinator when I was at Hollywood Studios. I was there for a very long time. And I thought that I was finally on my way to getting to where I needed to be. Turns out I wasn't, and I waited too long to leave because it was a dead end, and I just refused to accept the fact that it was a dead end. So eventually I left. I went to different places, and the exact same thing happened when I was in Pandora. Now, when I went back to Pandora after Skyliner, I was already of the mentality that I need to leave because, I originally wanted to leave. That's why I went to Skyliner, is I needed to get out of there because it was a dead end. And it was more so a dead end when I got sent back, but especially after everything else is going on. And again, I'm not going to talk about the negative stuff just because regardless of how I feel about how certain things were handled, I still like and respect a lot of the people who work there. And I don't want them to, I don't know if anybody from Pandora is actually going to watch this video, but if they do, I don't want them to think that I think negatively of them, because I don't, to be honest. I might have disagreed with a lot of decisions made by management and anybody above the frontline level, but that has nothing to do with them as people. A lot of the people who I worked with were really nice people, and I've still been in contact with several of my former coworkers after I left. So there were really good people there. I miss quite a few of them, and even the ones who I really didn't talk to or didn't even get along with, they're still good people and they deserve respect. So I'm not going to badmouth anybody. That's not me. That's not who I am. And that's not how I want my time at Disney to be remembered and to go out on. That's not the note to go out on. But here's the thing. My decision was made because of a number of factors, the biggest of which were I realized that I couldn't do it anymore. And the other is that I was going to be stuck there for a long time to come. Those two factors are what led me to leave. Now, I obviously made mistakes by not securing a new job before I left, but it was the move I needed to make. And to be honest, the last couple months have been really rough. Now, the nice thing is I've been able to make it. Corey has been instrumental for helping me out. Thankfully, he's been getting a ton of hours, has been able to cover our bills. So we're doing okay on that front. Matt has been instrumental as well. He's been helping me out. So I've been able to survive thanks to them, thanks to selling some stuff in my collection, thanks to finding ways to survive. But now, a week after I started my new job with Comcast, I can proudly say that if it wasn't for everything that happened before, I wouldn't be where I am now. And to be honest, where I am now, I genuinely feel is where I need to be. Just in my 1 week that I've been with Comcast, I've met a bunch of new people who are all really awesome. We've been training for the last week, and we're going to be training for the next, I think 7 weeks. We have 8 weeks of training for this role. Everyone's really cool. Everyone's been really nice. I'm the only person in my training group who has no previous sales experience. Everyone else has done phone sales of some kind, or, worked at different telecommunications companies, whatnot. I have none. I'm the only person in my group who has zero sales experience. And they've all been willing to show me some basics, to explain some things to me that I might not be aware of because I'm not from the sales world. And they've been really, really nice and respectful. My trainers are fantastic. We've had some really fun chats and fun experiences throughout our time the last week training. The benefits are phenomenal with Comcast. Plus I get uncapped commission. The commission system is really great. So I have the potential to make quite a bit more money than I made when I was with Disney, which is awesome. And that's going to come in clutch, because by being able to afford more things, not only can I make some much needed upgrades around my apartment and to my life in general, but it's going to allow me to be able to purchase and afford things that normally I didn't think would be an option. One that Corey and I have been talking about the last few months is the last couple weeks, in fact, is the fact that there's a realistic chance that if we keep on the trajectory that we're both on, we can move out of this place into our own 3-bedroom apartment without needing a third roommate. That's how good this situation is. And that would not have been possible if I just stayed on the same track that I was on, staying miserable every day at work, coming home in excruciating pain, finding nothing to really be happy about, except for coming home and sitting on my broken bed watching YouTube videos and on occasion playing a video game. That's what my life was like for the last part of my time at Disney. And now that chapter in my life is over, and there's actual good and positive things on the horizon for the first time in 2.5 years, I feel good about the future. I feel like I'm where I need to be. I'm going to be able to do what I need to do. And we're going to make some significant changes that are going to improve both of our lives. And I couldn't be happier about it. I finished my first week of training just constantly telling Corey, when he was home from work, how things went, talking to my friends, talking to my family. I have nothing but positive things to say. And that feels good. Plus the fact that, finally, in a couple weeks, I'm finally going to get paid and be able to start, living my life mostly on a normal basis again. So things are good. And like, the old adage says, it's always darkest just before the dawn. I genuinely feel I needed to go through all the things that I've gone through over the past 2.5 years to get me to where I am today. And honestly, I wouldn't change a thing. Yeah, those last 2.5 years have been pretty darn miserable. Stuff we couldn't control, stuff we could. There was just so much going on, and so many things hit us at once. But if it wasn't for each and everything that happened over the past 2.5 years, I wouldn't have been unemployed. I wouldn't have applied for a place like Comcast. And now I'm in a position where I can do something I genuinely think not only am I going to be good at, but I think I'll genuinely enjoy doing. I'll be able to make a lot more money. I'll have a lot of really great benefits, and I'll be able to make some significant changes to my life that will be positive. So it's strange to think that, you know, for the longest time I thought Disney was my end game. I genuinely wanted to move up to management, get in a really good position, and continue to climb the ladder with Disney. But they kept throwing roadblock after roadblock until eventually I finally realized that, you know, maybe it's not my end game. Maybe this was the experience I needed in order to do something better, to do something different with my life. And that's what I'm trying to do now. So my Disney career had plenty of ups. There were some absolutely phenomenal moments that I would not trade for the world. I got to work a Great Movie Ride. That was a childhood dream of mine. I always wanted to be a tour guide and a gangster and a bandit, and I got to do all that. I got to open Pandora. I got to open Star Tours. I got to open the Skyliner. There was so much that I was able to do in my Disney career that I wouldn't trade out for the world. And yeah, the last couple years were pretty bad, but there were a lot of good moments, and I will always treasure those good moments, as well as all the people that I met, the friends that I made along the way. So I finally feel like now I can, you know, close the book on my Disney career and not feel sad about it, because I did what I needed to do and it got me to the place that I needed to be in, so that I can now do what I've needed to do for a long time, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video as kind of a way to close the book on my Disney career. And if any of my Disney friends, or, you know, anybody I work with at Disney are watching this, I do want to say it has been an honor to work with all of you. And thank you for continuing to follow my life and my journey through these videos. If any of my Comcast family is watching, my fellow Comcasters as we're called now, because I know at the end of our last day of training, a number of my new coworkers actually subscribed to the channel. So welcome. Hope you enjoy the content. And thank you for being awesome. So yeah, that's it. Closing the book on Disney for good. I don't think I'm going to go back, to be completely honest. I think if I can do really well in my current position, it's where I need to be, and I could definitely see myself sticking around for a long period of time. So I don't think I'm gonna be going back to Disney. I'm hoping to get an annual pass and be able to go back as a guest and still enjoy the parks, because I do love the parks, and it will be great to be able to still enjoy the parks, but purely as a guest, not as a cast member. But, you know, it was time to move on. I had to have a long series of unfortunate events happen in order for me to finally decide enough was enough and change things. And those changes have been made, and those changes are going to be incredibly impactful on me, on this channel, on all my channels, on Corey, on my family, everybody. So yeah, that's it. That's going to do it for this episode of Chris Talks. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on a future video. Bye.